Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording session of Hearthstone. Although, I'm not certain we'll really go a full recording session here. I guess we need to trade out this. So now I just need a hunter, win 3 games with the hunter, 3 games with the druid, and 3 games in general. And we've got a tavern brawl to start with, so let's begin there. Let's see what's this week's tavern brawl. You collide with another hero and your decks are mixed up. Pick another hero from the start of the game. Your deck will be a random combination between those two. Interesting. So if I do druid and then hopefully hunter pops up as the other option, then maybe I'll get a victory for both of them, or maybe I'll only get a victory for druid. That'd be slightly odd. This is a weird way as far as how that's going to apply to the quests. I have a full board here of things to talk about, but really it's only because of sloppy handwriting. In all honesty, it would have been half this size if I just like had lines to write on. It's kind of ridiculous. I need the kindergarten lines on my board just so that I can write. I guess all throughout the times of my school when I was actually writing on paper, which often wasn't very often, line paper was always the thing we would do. So apparently I can choose warrior, mage, or shaman here. Who would best work with this? Warrior may give me taunt and enrage and defense. Mage would give me spells. And shaman would give me overload things. Let's see. Overload things or mage things or warrior things. I'm gonna go with warrior and see how that works. I could get 2 mana crystals and play this, but no real reason. Let's end the turn. So on the list, Microsoft published Platinum Games made game Scalebound has been cancelled. This is a very recent occurrence. Just a couple days ago it got announced. Now, I remember seeing trailers for Scalebound when it first came out. This guy is a JRPG, kind of like Final Fantasy 15 character. Long sword. He was wearing headphones for some reason. Shuffle 3 cards into your deck here. I think I might take that as an idea. But let's go 1 health here. And in the turn, the guy was wearing headphones and fighting a giant dragon, and I think he was going to fly with the dragon and do a lot of stuff with that. I really didn't think they showed that much. After hero attacks, give a random minion +1/+1 in your hand. And this costs 4. Let's do it. Shuffle 3 copies into my deck. What's interesting is that card in particular you could constantly play, and by playing it over and over again you would never run out of cards. You could go for a very long play solution. Like I have 27 and the opponent has 23. So I'm not super upset with the fact that Scalebound has been cancelled. There is definitely some weirdness here in the fact that
for the wild,
there's this is kind of getting cancelled because of, let's see, can I attack? No, I don't think I can. Yep, I
already attacked.
That was a mistake. I should have attacked after using my hero powers. It's weird that Microsoft seems to have forced this, and it really hurts Platinum Games, who made Mad World and Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 with the help of Nintendo. Let's see. What do I want to do here?
For the wild.
Let's hit the face, I suppose.
Job done.
The problem with Platinum Games in particular, though, is despite the fact they made Mad World and Bayonetta 2, which were good games, they also have a lot of other games that simply just aren't that good. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I think a game that just disappeared from Steam. Was that the Platinum Games Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? The Spider-Man game that also disappeared from Steam. I've now found that they are going to come out with a new Spider-Man game, so that seems like they just got rid of the old one to avoid confusion, which is garbage in itself, because this is probably the 8th or 9th time that they have made a Spider-Man game and then remade a Spider-Man game. As much as they reboot the Spider-Man movies, they reboot the video games, and it's garbage. So, of the 12 or 11 things that have been, let's see, this here, this here, this here, and this here.
Job done.
And then in return, yeah, they've only made maybe 3 or 4 good games. Now, part of what this seems to be, from what I've heard, and this is just kind of baseless rumor, is that Microsoft has developed and has had a growing demand for features. Surely that is true for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, in the fact that that they demand you can pause at any time. They demand that you can this is never gonna work. They demand that it probably has several integrated features, maybe Microsoft Cloud Save support, maybe chat was one of the things that came up. So I could imagine that in the development of this game, Microsoft was bullying to have features from other Microsoft properties possibly in it. Maybe they want Cortana in the game. Maybe they want, I don't know, the cloud backup service that Microsoft has in the game. That's something we saw with Crackdown 3, is how they said all the destruction and stuff was going to occur in the cloud, and maybe that won't happen now that the Scorpio's coming out. So Microsoft might be just a little feature crazy. They make a lot of different products. The Play Anywhere in particular is probably what killed Dragon Scalebound. I don't even remember the name. I'm surprised so many people are upset about this, and I was like watching an Angry Joe rant, which I don't particularly watch Angry Joe, even though I follow him, because I don't think he really does anything good or unique. That's a harsh thing to say, but I guess that's the only thing I can say. Let's see, which one would I want? Oh, rogue cards, maybe? Let's take rogue cards, I guess.
Job's done.
And he's just trying to have this rant, and it just seems like he's Oh, this is interesting. The mana bar is slowly fading and filling up. I didn't know that's what they did with this card back. That's cool. But yeah, it just seems so fake and so I also watched PewDiePie, and while PewDiePie absolutely seems always fake to me, he's obviously doing a character and doing comedy, and I can see it and appreciate it for that much. Next spell you cast costs 3 less. We'll see if that needs to be done right now, though. This would probably be better to play if there's a secret here in case there's a counter spell or something to counter it.
One shot.
See if I could swap the attack and health of a minion. Let's see. Go ahead and end the turn there. So yeah, the crossplay idea of getting it into Windows 10, and if you buy it on Xbox One for Scalebound, probably was the killer feature that they just couldn't integrate or didn't want to integrate. In a lot of the ways, I think Platinum Games needs to take a step back, not make deals with big companies. They probably aren't in the position to do this, though, and so they end up probably having to take jobs that they normally wouldn't. If I was to randomly guess. So let's end the turn there. And see if I swap this health now down to an attack in the next turn before he dies. This will be interesting. So in canceling Scalebound, let's see, Microsoft reminded us of the other things that are coming out this year, allegedly, and that's really the way I want to put it at this point, is just allegedly these games are coming out. We have Halo Wars 2, which is going to get this box set for in standard and regular edition. Let's see.
You love my new recipe.
This one, and then let's see.
Target acquired.
Now I can do that. And then return, I guess. So Halo Wars 2, Crackdown 3. I am interested in Crackdown 3 particularly because I believe it's coming to PC. Crackdown 2 was kind of a disappointment, and Crackdown 1 ended on a nice twist, and I really enjoyed it. So in comparison to something like Skyrim, I could see myself putting a lot of hours into Crackdown and having a completely different experience in the same amount of time. Although it is still really, at the core of it, just an obsessive amount of being OCD about collecting collectibles. Let's see. This.
You want to buy a funnel cake?
This. And. No, let's attack the face. Then take this guy back. And then kill this guy. And attack here. then end the turn. The other thing they have is State of Decay 2, which I don't know anything about that game, and Sea of Thieves, which is an MMO game that I won't play. So I won't play Halo Wars, I won't play Sea of Thieves, I probably won't play State of Decay. Crackdown 3 is the only Microsoft lineup for 2017 right now, and they say more is coming, which I suppose take that with whatever grain of salt you want to take it with. Let's see, this one, and then
Buy one!
that one, and let's see, do I want to kill this guy with this? Not yet. So it's in the turn. ZeniMax versus Oculus Rift's trial has started, and it's already ugly. It was already ugly anyways, so whatever. Now, to go back to the previous story, when I say Microsoft's lineup doesn't look that good, I guess that's just the original IP lineup, which I guess for a PC player at this point, this is fine for me. It probably only helps because they, like, Recore was a exclusive for, I think, the Xbox or Windows Live PC too, and it was garbage. So I think maybe Microsoft by the end of 2017 may completely step out of publishing video games altogether. But they kind of need that exclusive too, so you really just kind of don't know what they can do. Let's see. Let's see. I suppose there's no real problem in doing this. And then doing that. And then ending the turn. Yeah, it probably only helps that more games are not going to be exclusive to the Xbox, but in a lot of ways the console industry doesn't look super great for 2017. It doesn't look like PS4's got a huge lineup so far. Things may come about, but if neither of the consoles really has much, and Nintendo's just going to have its first-party Nintendo stuff that I can't really care about, because I'm not going to get a Nintendo Switch, and I know it. Deal 2 damage to a minion and a million minions next to it. Sure. How about we... Nope, don't even need this. 4, 7, 8, 9. Let's see. There we go. In the turn. So I don't know if the PC 2017 for PCs is going to be a great year either. It's probably too early to tell. A lot of crazy things could come out. And we've been very much, for the past few years, more heavier on the A titles and the indie titles more than we have been on the AAA companies that trickle out just a few games every year. This is probably not up to my standard of news, which is a pretty low standard, or should be a pretty low standard at least. But a game called Vadun has added a free update where it's a soldier war game, I assume. And so they've added Scottish fighters that wear kilts, and I thought that was kind of funny. So if you play Verdun, look forward to the kilt-wearing Scotsman. Hey, we earned a pack. It's probably been about 2 or 3 weeks since we've earned a pack, come to think of it. Another short little snippet news item. as I look at the clock here, Pokemon Sun and Moon had a global event, and this is for the second time in a row the players have failed to succeed at the global event, which I guess thematically is right in line with Pokemon. And one of the worst parts about the Pokemon cartoon is the fact that you have Ash Ketchum here, who goes from island to island or place to place. Maybe it's not always islands. And he gets all these Pokemons and he tries for entire seasons to get them strong and powerful. And then he goes for the gym battles after collecting all of the gym badges, and he fails every single time, consistently. And he learns some important emotional value from that, but he never wins. And I assume at the end they have to, when he wins, that will be the end of the series, because I don't think there's anything else you can do at that point. Which one do I want on my top thing? Deal 2 damage to an enemy hero. Choose a friendly minion, shuffle a copy into your deck. I'll take this one. And then end the turn. So thematically, in keeping with that, the Pokemon players fail. Gain the attack equal to your weapon. Let's see. I'm just gonna do that and then end the turn. I could have used the coin and summoned a random beast, but it doesn't even matter. The other thing that's interesting is that there was a fan-made project to turn all of the original 151 Pokemon into Hearthstone cards, which is kind of silly considering Pokemon has their own card game. I guess on a certain level you also realize that there's differences in those two card games, and the Pokemon the trading card game is very much just a variant of Magic the Gathering, because Magic the Gathering somehow has a copyright for like all collectible card games that are so. I don't know how that happened, but it seems to be the case. So, whenever a friendly beast dies, your other minions have +1 attack. Just gonna go ahead and attack here, and then turn. So it would be weird for Blizzard to do a Pokemon like special version of Hearthstone. It would be kind of cool, but also it would require that Hearthstone have an evolution mechanic that is better than what we have now, which is almost nothing, because it doesn't make a lot of sense that on your first turn you can play a level 1 version of a Pokemon, and then on your second or third turn you could play a level 2 version of that Pokemon that is a lot more powerful. Each other beast I have, interesting. I don't know how I would have other beasts. I guess just on the field or not in my hand. I would assume for each other beast you have on the field, I assume is what that means. The NAS Mini has been hacked, and they left somebody left a message in there like, please don't break. So it seems like at least somebody halfway expected it for it to be hacked. So you can go from the 30 games that it's on to putting on at least 60. I'm not really certain how much space is on the device, but it doesn't. If they only put 60 games on there, they were either really pressed for time, or there was a limit
I wonder.
to the amount of space. Give your thing +3/+3. There we go. Let's see.
Job done.
There we go. I didn't realize how weak this acid maul was. If only there was some way I could destroy some other cards. I've kind of gone back and forth on the NES Mini, like if it was really for sale and easy to get, and it wasn't $60, if it was a lot cheaper. I kind of would like to get it. How many other beasts can I get on the field right now? Probably none. Deal 1 damage.
Locked and loaded.
Let's see.
Job's done.
Let's end the turn. Alright. I'd like to kind of get it, but immediately hack it. And then when I start to think about that, there's probably a Raspberry Pi solution that's better. And frankly, I kind of think I'd like a Raspberry Pi solution that I can fill with a bunch of ROMs from just not the NES, but everything that could possibly run on that. And then from that point also, oh, I wish I'd played more cards at this. If I'd known that was gonna happen. Let's see, kill this character. And then, do I want to kill this character or do I want to attack here? I guess I want to attack here. Yeah, I think I'd want a portable Raspberry Pi, kind of like a Game Boy, but probably would need to have 4 buttons and go with a full Xbox 360 style of controllers, because of the different games you might want to play on it. And then I'd want it to be portable, but also have a USB in so I could plug in maybe a different controller. So maybe I could be cool with one that just had 2 or 4 buttons, but not extra left and right sticks. And like,
Finally, a second chance.
let's keep burning his cards.
I hunt alone. Job's done.
I'm gonna lose here anyway, so yeah, I'd want something like a portable Raspberry Pi that was a Game Boy, but could also then be plugged into an HDMI out to a TV and a USB in to plug in a controller. And that's, I haven't seen a design quite like that. And I'd want it to have batteries, but then I'd also want it to have the a plug-in option too. And then I'm also thinking to myself, maybe the Raspberry Pi would be a little bit too weak for that, but maybe not. Let's see what cards we got here. So I'm giving a lot of that thought, and then at the end of the day, I give it all that thought, and I say to myself, well, you know, I'm never going to actually... Hey, I got an epic, which is going to give me 100 dust. Extra. Interesting. the end of the day, that means I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to go to look at classic cards here. I'm not going to be able to cover any of it on my YouTube channel, even with an HDMI out, and even if I had a capture box. There's no point and no reason to cover a game that's just a ROM and people would have to go through crazy back channels to get. Should I get the Shaman card? Or is there possibly something over here for 400 that I could get? I guess not. So this Shaman card is the one to get, I guess. I had one extra epic somehow, and that let me get this next epic. We're still very far away from having all of the classic cards as far as legendaries that are 1600. Somebody was talking about, one of the websites I would watch was talking about what they wanted in Hearthstone and how they wish Hearthstone would just sell like pre-made decks, and that might at a certain point be worth it if I ended up spending maybe 1,000 gold to just buy a pre-made deck that would give me at least one guaranteed legendary. Of course, I'd have to do the math, because if I ended up spending 5,000 gold on one guaranteed legendary, that's probably not worth it. Right now, nothing has changed and nothing has been announced, so that's just kind of something somebody wanted to see. So, on the quests, we didn't make a lot of progress, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't make a lot of progress here, but I guess we're going to stick with the Tavern Brawl in the hopes that that might help. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me further, click on my name Rydo. On the right will be a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.